It was March 2020, not in a war zone, not after a natural disaster, just ordinary cities, ordinary supermarkets, and shelves that didn't look ordinary anymore. People walked in expecting routine, bread, rice, cooking oil. Instead, they found empty racks. Not gradually empty, not running low, completely wiped. And the strangest part? It wasn't the most expensive foods that disappeared first. It was the cheap, everyday items people assumed would always be there. Flour, instant noodles, canned goods, things nobody stockpiled until everyone did. Within 72 hours, supply chains didn't break. They stalled. And when they stall, prices don't rise slowly. They jump. Here's what most people still don't understand. Food doesn't become expensive when there's none left. It becomes expensive the moment people think there might not be enough. And that moment is happening again. Global supply pressure, transport costs, weather disruptions, quiet export restrictions most people never hear about. Prices are already shifting, but not everything moves at once. Some foods spike early, some spike suddenly, and some disappear before the price even has time to rise. Today, we're covering 10 foods that are about to get expensive, and why buying them early matters. Number 6 is already quietly increasing in price, and most people haven't noticed yet. And number 2 is the one people regret not buying every single time. If you don't want to miss out on future warnings like this, hit the subscribe button. Let's get started. Number 10. Instant noodles cheap, easy, everywhere, until they're not. Instant noodles rely on wheat, palm oil, and packaging materials. All three have been under pressure globally. The mistake people make? They assume something so common can't suddenly spike. But when prices rise, manufacturers don't always increase cost first. They reduce quantity, shrink packs, or quietly adjust supply. By the time people notice, demand surges, and then prices follow. Number 9. Cooking oil. This one has already proven how fast it can explode. Vegetable oil, sunflower oil, palm oil, all heavily affected by global production issues and export limits. When supply tightens, cooking oil doesn't just get expensive, it becomes rationed. And here's the problem. You don't realize how essential it is until you don't have it. Almost every meal depends on it. Number 8. Flour. Flour looks basic, almost boring, but it sits at the center of everything. Bread, pastries, noodles, even thickening soups. When wheat prices rise globally, flour follows almost immediately. And during shortages, people don't just buy flour for baking, they buy it for control over their own food supply. That's when shelves clear out fast. Number 7. Sugar. Sugar doesn't feel urgent until it disappears. It's not just for sweetness, it's preservation, baking, energy, and global sugar production depends heavily on weather conditions. Bad harvest seasons don't just reduce supply, they trigger price spikes that ripple worldwide. It's one of those items that stays stable until it suddenly isn't. Number 6. Eggs, powdered or fresh alternatives. This is the one quietly rising already. Feed costs are increasing, transportation costs are climbing, and eggs? They sit right in the middle of that pressure. Fresh eggs become expensive first. Then people shift to alternatives, powdered eggs, substitutes, and those follow quickly. By the time it becomes obvious, the cheaper options are already gone. Number 5. Rice. Rice is a global staple. And when countries start protecting their own supply, exports get restricted. It doesn't make headlines immediately, but the effect spreads fast. The moment major suppliers tighten exports, prices spike internationally. And demand doesn't drop, it increases. Because rice isn't optional for billions of people. Number 4. Canned foods. Canned goods don't just depend on food supply, they depend on metal, packaging, manufacturing. When any one of those gets disrupted, production slows. And when people sense uncertainty, they go for canned foods first. Long shelf life, ready to eat. Reliable, which is exactly why they disappear quickly. and come back more expensive. Number 3. Pasta simple, cheap, filling. But pasta depends heavily on wheat supply, just like flour. When wheat tightens, pasta prices don't stay low for long. And here's what happens every time. People ignore it early. Then suddenly everyone buys it at once. That's when prices jump overnight. Number 2. Beans. This is the one people always regret ignoring. Beans are one of the cheapest protein sources available. Long shelf life. High nutrition. Extremely versatile. And during any price surge or shortage, people turn to beans fast. Demand spikes hard, and supply struggles to keep up. By the time people realize how valuable they are, they're no longer cheap. Number 1. Salt. This one seems almost too simple. Salt is everywhere, cheap, easy to find. So why include it? Because salt isn't just food, it's preservation. When uncertainty rises, people don't just think about eating today. They think about storing food long-term. And salt becomes essential. Historically, salt shortages have triggered panic faster than expected, because once it's gone, preserving food becomes much harder. And when something that cheap suddenly rises in price, it catches everyone off guard. Here's the bottom line. Most people wait for proof before they act. They wait for headlines, empty shelves, price spikes. But by then, they're reacting. The smarter move? Watch the patterns early, move before the crowd does. Because when it comes to food, timing matters more than anything. And the difference between cheap and expensive often comes down to just a few days of delay. So the question isn't whether these foods will rise in price. It's whether you'll get them before everyone else notices.